Hey folks, Darren here, Mr. Sandsman. Welcome back to the channel. Return of the Living Dead, one of my favourite zombie movies of all time. I remember seeing it back in the mid-80s on Vestron Video when it was first released in the UK. Took a chance on it because I don't recall seeing it being on in the cinemas. I'm sure it was, but I was only, I don't know, 12, 13 years old at the time, so I wouldn't have been able to get in because I'm quite sure it was an 18 in this country, although it has been re-rated as a 15 since. So yeah, VHS was my first experience with this movie, and it was an awkward experience because of the nudity and the language and everything. I remember watching it in the lounge and my parents kind of wandering in and out saying, what the hell are you watching? You know, the language was incredibly coarse for the time. I think I'd only really seen 48 hours that had that level of language, I think, for a movie that we would rent on VHS. So yeah, it's kind of stayed with me ever since. I think I bought it, an ex-rental of the Vestron Video, and then I think I bought the sell-through as the years went on, and I've owned DVDs of this as well. But about 12 years ago, Second Sight brought out this Steelbook of The Return of the Living Dead, which had some great stuff on it. I remember buying this and thinking, this is amazing. The level of extras on this was through the roof, but it didn't have everything on there because I was aware that there were commentaries with Dan O'Bannon and cast members that weren't included on this. But what it does have is pretty special. So nearly 5 hours of killer bonus features. More Brains, A Return to the Living Dead, the definitive 2-hour documentary featuring interviews with cast and crew, as well as previously unseen behind-the-scenes footage, storyboards, conceptual art, publicity materials, and archival documents. More Brains, 2 hours of bonus features, a conversation with Dan O'Bannon, the final interview, They Won't Stay Dead, a look at The Return of the Living Dead Part 2, Love Beyond the Grave, a look at The Return of the Living Dead 3, Stacy Q Live, exclusive Tonight music video, Even More Brains, deleted documentary interviews, Return of the Living Dead in 3 minutes, resurrected settings, the filming locations today, then the origins of Return of the Living Dead with John A. Russo, the FX of the Living Dead with production designer William Stout and FX makeup artists William Munns and Tony Gardner, Party Time with music consultant Steve Pross and 45 Grave singer Dean Cancer, an exclusive Ernie's Notepad, a 20-page replica notebook by embalmer Ernie Kaltenbrunner, featuring production notes, casting information, and exclusive artwork. I can show you that now. So first off, there is the inside. Cool disc, Blu-ray, as you can see, 15 rating on there. And this is region B, so won't play in the US players unless you have a multi-region player. And then this booklet, production notes, property of Ernie Kaltenbrunner. And it has all sorts of photos, production notes, pictures of the crew, cast members, that kind of thing. There's old Brian Peck. Yeah, all good stuff. Nice to have as well. So that was the Second Sight Return of the Living Dead Steelbook from around about 12 years ago. I think this came out. In fact, I forgot I had this. I found it on my shelf a few months ago. I totally forgot I had it. There we go. There's the back with all the information on the extras. Like I said, the one thing they appear to be missing off here are the commentaries, which is a shame. However, we do get those back. Anything else to say about this? Special features, 293 minutes of them. So it's in 185, 16:9, 1080p, PCM stereo with DTS HD 5.1 surround. Somebody offered to buy this off me recently. I think it goes for a few quid. I'm going to hang on to it. Next was the Scream Factory 4K that came out last year. My co-host Frank Riker managed to get hold of this for me, co-host on Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. He sent this over. It came over to me. The postman wouldn't put it through the letterbox. The package was too big. He took it away, didn't leave a card, and then it went all the way back to Frank, who then had to bring it back again when he flew into the country. So yeah, so this is the Scream Factory version that came out with the slipcover. I can take that off. I don't know if it's got reversible artwork on it. No, it hasn't. It is a 3-discer though. And there's a reason for that. There's the first disc. That's the 4K. You then have that one with Ernie on it and one with all the gang on there as well. So, special features on here. So obviously it's a new 2022 4K scan of the original camera negative, audio commentary with author Gary Smart, the complete history of the Return of the Living Dead and Chris Griffiths, audio commentary with actors Tom Matthews, John Philbin, and makeup effects artist Tony Gardner, audio commentary with director Dan O'Bannon and production designer William Stout, audio commentary with William Stout and actors Don Calfer, Linnea Quigley, Brian Peck, Beverly Randolph, and Alan Troutman. Disc 2 is the Blu-ray of the feature film. Again, the 4K scan of the original camera negative, 4 audio commentaries as described before, the Decade of Darkness featurette, theatrical trailers, TV spots, stills galleries, posters, lobby cards, and behind the scenes. Disc 3 is a special features disc. It's a Blu-ray and it has the Return of the Living Dead work print, which is essentially a rough cut of the movie that was used for internal screenings before they decided on the full theatrical release. It runs about 20 minutes longer. It's quite tough to watch because the quality of it is pretty rough. It doesn't look good. But there are quite a few differences. You know, Suicide and Scuzz have bigger intros to the film. The warehouse scene has more banter between the guys. Frank's transformation has more emotional beats to it, I guess. And then there are some zombie sequences which are kind of slightly more gorier, I guess. But, you know, with the quality being so poor, it's difficult to work out a lot of the time. And then some of the dialogue and performances are slightly less polished. So you can see why they've tightened things up and made the movie a lot slicker than it originally was. And this is nothing new. Movies often go through a period of being significantly longer than what their final cut was. So it's quite a rare thing though for something like this to surface, and it was great that Shout Factory managed to get hold of this because there were plenty of bootlegs around all over the place. They managed to get hold of it, get the rights, and put it on the disc, and now we can all, you know, own it and refer to it whenever we want. Then you have more Brains, a Return to the Living Dead, which was on the second sight Blu-ray that I had. The effects of the Return of the Living Dead, Party Time, the music of the Return of the Living Dead, the origins of the Return of the Living Dead, the Return of the Living Dead, the Dead have risen, Designing the Dead, Horror's Hallowed Grounds, a look at the film's locations, and a conversation with writer-director Dan O'Bannon. So a lot of the stuff that we've had on the second sight 2013 version appears on this as well. This also comes in Dolby Vision HDR10 and has a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track. No Atmos, unfortunately, but can't have it always, I guess. And then just the other day, through the post, came this, the Return of the Living Dead Steelbook. Now, this looks a lot better in person than it does on the website. I took a gamble on it because I'm a huge fan of the film, and Steelbooks, you know, they retain their value a lot of the time. I unwrapped it this morning and wow, does it look good. In terms of the extras and everything, it's identical to the Scream Factory version from last year. But I just love this cover art, which I'm going to show you now, which is that. It's the female zombie on the table. Yes, brains. Yeah, I think that looks fantastic. It really does. I got a good price on it as well. It was only around about £30, I think. And you'll notice that the disc art is different to the disc art on the 4K version. At least they've tried to do something different with it. But I really do love that Steelbook. I think it looks fantastic. And it managed to get here all the way from America without a ding in it, which is great. So that's it. So if you're a fan of the film, I would go with either of those two. The 4K HDR experience is pretty good. It's not the best I've seen, but I was happy with it. And I haven't watched the Steelbook version, so I'm assuming it's identical. Pop a note down in the comments below. Are you a fan of the Return of the Living Dead? Which versions do you own? And what did you think of the work print? Do you think it's a better movie? I know it doesn't look fantastic because of the quality of it. Personally, I find it pretty much unwatchable, but yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate the support with these videos. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider it. And if you wouldn't mind popping a like on the video, that would really help this get out there to all those Return of the Living Dead fans. So I shall see you very soon, folks. Thanks a lot. Cheers.